Hello everyone, this is Maffuman coming to the Starcraft Starbattle. We got a 6-on-6 shipbuilding action game starring Starboy. Looks like he's got some, backlash rockets and wraiths in range. Backlash rockets, wraiths in range for Jack as well. A little bit of an odd build, but they're both doing it. We got some Tiber coming on in with a little bit of speed. His interceptors at 4, that is what I like to see. Some nice standard builds. We got some, three Destros right there. We got Abra coming on in. He's got the explosive charge. We got Pepper coming on in. He's got the laser batteries. And then Morchok coming on in with armor. Kind of 3 different ways that can go. We got Mr. No Name, the Void Ray, coming on in with a blink. So he can blink on into or out of combat as needed. We got Markial coming on in with regular range. He got a little bit more range because he didn't put it into wraiths or something like that. We got Dave with the 3 upgrades on his laser batteries. The range is helpful for farm, but he's still not necessarily one-shot farming. But I guess could get the one-shot farm. A little bit quicker than the other guys. We got Static Leviathan. Static Leviathan has Evolve, infield upgrades. We got Elio Gunner. Elio Gunner has the 5 upgrades on his laser batteries because essentially he probably randomed and had the extra money to put on in there. We got the blue side keeping the red side, pushing it back to base. We got Mr. No Name right now, who wants to be able to farm, but has to stay close to base right now because the rest of the team is out there as well. Abra pushing on up. He has the explosive charge. Every, once in a while he drops one of these guys there, which is untargetable, but does do some damage. There you go, Markial finding out how much damage that was. Mr. No Name is trying to do some damage to Tiber. Tiber's, trying to farm, but Tiber's interceptors are the way he does it. As Tiber's interceptors can be shot by, the tower, or anybody else. So look, he has to jump on in there. He's choosing them to be over there. They jump in, they farm a little bit, and then they get on out of there. And meanwhile, Abra comes in, kind of like, hungry hippos some of his farm away. Because there's only a set amount of farm that can be actually happening, so crowding around the middle makes sense, but, more mouths to feed over there. Along the side's nice, but, one person can probably, do it pretty well. So we got the blue side. Now that they're trying to push them up a little bit, the blue side was trying to farm, but they do have to pull back slightly because they, are a little bit damaged as well. And we got Abra taking some damage. We got Starboy moving on back. We got the missiles, and it seems as if Static is going to go on in there. Static is, trying to farm because he does have that. But he's taking quite a bunch of damage. He's actually in the 2,000 point. Oh, he had acid spray. That's what he put his money into. So he has to go on down there. The Leviathan is farming. And what are you doing, Elio Gunner? Elio Gunner is going to take quite a bunch of damage from the entire blue side. And looks like EMRAKul comes on in there and does provide some shielding. And will it be enough? It might possibly be. I mean, yeah, okay. Elio Gunner is going to make it as long as he doesn't go back into combat with very little health. What are you doing, buddy? You have to go back to base. And I think he is getting that message right now. The 3 Destros over there. Scared away, Mr. No Name. Dave and Marchial. They're gonna push on up. We got the blue side retreating right now. Now they're not in mortal danger, but they are doing something right now. They are going to head on back a little bit earlier rather than later. Tiber is going to warp out of combat. Pretty quick warp. Let's see what he ends up getting. He's at 747 money, and let's see what he ends up using. Ooh, Plasma Surge as well as Warp In. Plasma Surge and Warp In the very beginning. Plasma Surge recharges 125 shields points to each friendly unit, so it makes them much, much stronger. And Warp In helps them come back if they die. And basically at the cost of energy. We can see. We got Static moving on up. Static now trying to farm. He does hit Acid Spray, which is really going to be helpful. I mean, he has 1, 2, 3 Destros right there. Acid Spray does 100 damage plus 500 to massive, 600 over 8 seconds. It also reduces armor by 5, so that's going to be helpful for Destros, even Destros who did not go for armor. Tiber also has interceptors, and Acid Spray is a great way of doing 100 damage to the interceptors. It's not going to always kill them. I mean, it will for right now probably, but not for right now. Jack smacking him with an ion cannon. Jack with the ion cannon on Dave. Ion Cannon does more damage when it has versus shield, 1600 plus 900. Abra, Harvey's. That's what I'm thinking about. Moving on up and taking a bunch of damage. He has a explosive charge as well, so he has explosive charge and bombardment. And he does like, see, he drops his little charge, but it's like, if it's not within that little range, then you're not doing very much. We got a Elio Gunner, you know, trying to protect the Sky Furies, but you know, not going to happen all the time. Ooh, perfect shot from Jack. Ion Cannon doing a whole bunch of damage. It is what's it called? 125. He does not have quite enough for it. He's going to stay on them. Elio Gunner is going to take a whole bunch of damage. He's got 2 frigates, even if they're not, you know, they're not quite able to take them out. They might be though. 1600 damage, 900. He is going to take a bunch of damage, and there is I think that was a nuke. I think the nuke was there, but ended up going through them and didn't actually end up killing him. But Elio Gunner is still gone. Elio Gunner is still gone. It's just, you know, how much overkill was there. Super quick fusion torpedo from Starboy, and we got a Dave Boom taking a bunch of you know, a little mine to the face right there. Ooh, defensive shield being used. And Markiel also has a fusion torpedo. Markiel also went for the super early fusion torpedo, investing, you know, $400 into an ability, you know, which obviously can do like 6,000 damage. It's just a skill shot. Now, let's see what this carrier goes back and spends his money on. He's got 964. Starboy moving back. He's staying, you know, relatively cautious. He's trying to farm with his wraiths. I mean, hey, he got them in the very beginning. You might as well use them. And will Jack find him? No, the Void Ray went on out of there. And it looks like the blue side's kind of like slowly repositioning. Now they're retreating with, you know, without being injured too badly. Ooh, we got some cloak from Mr. No Name. Mr. No Name went for some cloak. Now he has 1, 2, 3 abilities, and only 400 energy. I mean, 400 energy is a lot, but you know, cloak is like, I mean, you just can never get enough energy for that. And because he was cloaked, the Dave goes, you know, just went away. We got these mines being placed in the gas right there. We got Starboy moving on back. We got everybody trying to move on back. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting a quote ultimate ability very quickly, like, you know, fusion torpedo. Now, if it hits somebody, that's great, but you do want to make sure you're avoiding this. He is past the 10-minute point, and he has you know, he hasn't upgraded his lasers yet. Now, if he does right now, he can get back into farming, but the longer and longer that he goes without farming, without upgrading his laser battery, the harder and harder it is to farm. Now, he could use his wraiths, but you do want to get some laser batteries as well, as, you know, kind of more steady backup. On the off chance you're not wraith farming. Peppering them. We got Mr. No Name is going to use his cloak to kind of stay there, peppered, moving away. We got, you know, Starboy moving on up. Now, he does have a fusion torpedo, and, you know, would do quite a bunch of damage. Mr. No Name kind of cloaking. We got a red team retreating as well. Ooh, good shot on that acid spray. Acid spray is going to hurt Tiber quite a bunch, especially hurting his interceptors. Now, they have more than 100 life. Swing and a miss with a field goal from Starboy right there. Ooh, and oh, those some early Tempests. Those are some early Tempests. That one is, it's a really heavy energy investment. It's 225. He only has 450. And you know, he upgraded so much money that he basically had to choose. You know, again, there's nothing wrong with getting a you know, a Tempest or, you know, an ultimate ability or something like that. It's just where you're going to not spend your money is also important. So because he's got 1, 2, 3 cool abilities, because he's got that extra energy to use those cool abilities, he doesn't have very much interceptors. He doesn't have any range upgrades. His speed's like, you know, 1.71, which is okay, but, you know, not 1.81. We got Mr. No Name going around and, you know, using cloak as well as the natural protection of the gas to make sure he kills those temps. We got Mortalk as well. Mortalk is going to move on back. We got Mr. No Name thinking that he's pretty confident with his cloak, and he probably is. He's got some blinks. He's got some 1.8.6 speed. He should be okay to do that. And the blue side's going to retreat on back. Not because they're hurt, but because they got money. Let's see. Give me a little sense of that. Now, Tiber, we're going to keep an eye on. He has 856, and it looks like he's got Vortex. He upgraded Vortex very quickly. And that's actually going to be super helpful because there is always a possibility of that. And Starboy taking a whole bunch of damage and getting on out of there. We got a fusion torpedo coming on in, and Jack takes the fusion torpedo. Now, who says that frigates can't be tanks? I mean, the game does. It says they shouldn't be. They said they wouldn't be, but they are, according to Jack, who took a whole bunch of damage, so his friends did not. How cute is that? But moving on up, we got Tiber in the gas with his 12 upgraded Tempests. Mr. No Name pushing on up. We're going to hit Starboy. Starboy's going to take a whole bunch of damage. And Starboy's going to take a whole bunch of damage, is what I said. And we got a Vortex and a fusion torpedo, but the fusion torpedo misses. It misses because it's all a timing thing, and the Vortex does save, everybody right there. Now, the entire blue side's going to move on back. The red team is using the gas to their advantage. Mr. No Name getting a defensive matrix right there. And we got the blue side was not quite able to pull off a kill, but neither were they themselves killed. We got a Static using his tentacles, and he's got rapid regeneration, 425 energy to use his two abilities, one of them which costs 75 energy, and one of which costs 100. Decent, and nobody can drain his energy, so that's pretty good right there. Of course, because he has that, he only has 1550 health, not the most. Mr. No Name moved on back. More talk, trying to use his Gatling cannons at 6 upgrades, doing 58 to do damage to Static. We got Mr. No Name cloaking and avoiding damage, basically they auto to somebody else. Tiber using his Tempests. Now he's not controlling where they're moving, but they are in the great positioning right behind the gas right there. And Static uses his little rapid regeneration to stay alive. We got the blue side moving on up. Blue side, back in this little Goldilocks position. Now this game is a little bit like I'm gonna call it football, but I mean like American football, not like European football. I'm talking more like hand-egg over here, where there's always going to be some part where you want to be farming, and you're always going to be kind of pushing towards their base, but it's about timing. The red team wasn't super hurt, so they didn't have to stay in base too long. In fact, the Mr. No Name kind of going around there and having a little side action did scare the blue side out of their favorite place to be a little bit faster. Tiber warping back in again because he put so much money into cool abilities. He doesn't have very many interceptors, and his interceptors that he has aren't very good. I mean, they're okay. They're good. They're like farming. They're like advanced farming at 8. Mr. No Name uses a beach ball of sadness on them regardless, and he's actually just going to even stay cloaked, so there's no way he's going to take the damage. In fact, Markial was being defensive matrixed to not take damage. We got good timing from Tiber. Has his Tempest in the right position. We got Mr. No Name using that blink and using that cloak energy and that beach ball of sadness to slow down. Now he doesn't have very many phase disruptors. He has some phase disruptors, but they're just taking their time and doing some damage to the Tempest, and he has to kind of like stay there a little bit longer, and every second that he spends is time that he's not using cloak to kill the enemy. He's just using it on other stuff. Static going to be taking a whole bunch of damage. There is defensive matrix on him, and the team does come on around. You got Torpedo coming on in, and also does Static does move in the very last nick of time. We got Avra and Mortok moving on up. We got Mr. No Name going on in, and we got to return the favor Torpedo, and Mortok does take a bunch of damage, and he does have 4 armor right now, and he is in the 2000s though, and there's a vortex that does save Mortok the Mortok monster, and the Tempests are in the great positioning right behind him. Now Mortok has to escape, and but Pepper's coming on in because the blue side has to regain that energy because there is another guy from them in there. Jack was in there. Jack has the Rip Wave warheads, and the Ion Cannon was like, hey, I didn't like to take that much damage. And we got Pepper coming on in with a super early and not, I'm going to call it strategically placed siege. Siege does a whole bunch of damage. I mean, it basically makes them a cute little siege tank. Gives them 1170 damage plus 390 versus light, like splash damage. It's just it's this Ring of Death. in that ring of death, they're going to take damage. Outside of it, they're fine. So in the middle of the map, it ain't the best place for it. But that in combination with other temples, I mean, I guess you could see a triple siege. That would be monstrous. Mr. No Name going to move on in. He's regaining all of his energy. But again, he kind of does have to be careful of high damage things because he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to call it 4, but even though there are 5 technically abilities. And 525 energy, meaning he's got no armor, no shields. So, you know, once he does take damage from Tiber's interceptors or Pepper's still siege tank, you know, he can't do it for long. He can't withstand firepower of that magnitude. We got Tiber moving away. We got Aber taking some damage. We got keep an eye on Tiber, see what he does. So it's 1,000 money. He's got 1,000 money. And it looks like because they can't. The blue side can't detect the Void Ray at all. So they're going to use abilities that are kind of cool that do area of effect damage. They're explosive charge, area of effect damage, bombardment, area of effect damage, protecting your friends with Blackout nuke. Okay, Blackout is coming in, and Molotov takes a siege for the team. Mr. Name comes on in, does hit Starboy. Starboy is still in the Blackout right now, and there's a vortex, a defensive vortex to save Starboy, but to hit 3 of his own teammates, and Jack's gonna move on back. Tiber's gonna move on in. He has the Tempest. He's gonna try to protect them, and and Starboy does have to decide to turn around back to save his friends. And there is a 3 Destros now in the exact right place to be to do damage. Now again, Destros do damage for their main ability, their Gatling Cannon at 8 range. Almost always, so positioning is super important. There's so many people on Static right now. Static is going to use this interception to get a little bit further than he would normally be, closer to EMRAkul. And now Pepper's in the position where he's behind the gas, but he's limited to that low effect right there. Aber pushing on up. Static took a whole bunch of damage, but you know, I have to imagine Pepper's going to move on back. Now move on up a little further. Now he has to get 150 feet into siege mode. He only has 225. And if he can get into siege mode, sure, that'd be great. But right now they're just going to try to farm. Clutch saves on the from Tiber. That's another great way of taking out any Void Ray aggression, is just to delete that area. It's on a 46-second cooldown right now, so they do have to be cautious. Blue side is going to get all back. They are going to use the gases protection. They're going to throw up a couple extra Tempests as you know, to like dissuade them. But you know, anything is just there to slow them down. And blue side moving back, red side moving on up. It's now football analogy. There we go. That's about as far as the sports I get. We got 10 upgrades on his prismatic beam. 0.26 speed. But yeah, he only has 5 upgrades on these guys because he has so many other abilities. Favoring the abilities right there. Abra also now has the protective field, definitely going to help out. Pretty much, I would imagine everybody has it. Not just, yeah, Pepper doesn't have it. Most Destros end up getting these 2 bad boys right there. Even if you're mostly focusing, it looks like, on armor and Gatling cannons, he still has protective field and repair bots, because that's just what you do. There we go. Even our sieging buddy has repair bots. Let's see, we got Tiber moving back. Beach Balls of Sadness, slowing down the interceptors. Really affecting how much they can really do. We got Mortok moving on up. Gonna try to do some more damage. Static taking a whole bunch of missiles though. And Mortok does have 1.71 speed. Static has 1.71 speed, so they're on the same speed. Mr. No Name taking a whole bunch of damage, and now that he's cloaked, they're gonna auto-target back onto somebody they can actually see. And will that be enough? And Mortok moves on back. Mortok with the moonwalk, because he didn't want to be hit by MaffumanCasting. Abra moving up. Now he has 10 shields. Basically, just always have that shield extra going on, so that way he has more protective field. We got the entire blue side pushing on up. Mortok and Abra in a good position, and another I'm gonna call it defensive interception right there. Choosing one of his furthest away buddies, and you know, trying to do some damage there. Now another siege, but another siege that's not like necessarily in the best positioning, and you know, it looks, I mean, okay, that's a lot of mines. That's a whole bunch of mines. Those are actually Starboy's mines. Those are, you know, created. They're actually cloaked a little bit different than the explosive charge that Pepper, that anybody else can throw out. And we got the battle station now actually taking some damage. We got Pepper can hit the battle station, but he's also choosing to hit his you know, opponents right there. MaffumanCasting finding out how much damage he's doing. He's doing 1230 every shot, and there's a perfect vortex. Perfect vortex to do some more damage. Now Pepper moved out of siege mode, and actually doesn't necessarily static, taking a whole bunch of damage. Tiber throwing up some Tempests, and Mr. No Name taking a whole bunch of damage. He's going to try to go in there. He's going to be angry with his cloak. He's going to have about 170 left, and Abra has very little health, but Mr. No Name had to get on Abra because he's almost out of energy. Combination with the mines as well. They almost took out the Leviathan. Pepper going to move on out of there. He has less armor. He is going to take a bunch of damage because he was corruption and acid sprayed. And there's a torpedo. There's a torpedo. That is a swing and a miss. Now Starboy is going to move on up with his 11 missiles and 0 lasers. Lasers, you need them to farm. You need lasers to farm. You're going to find yourself making less and less money because the cute little Phoenix and the other guys, you know, there we go, Phoenix, are going to be harder and harder to kill, meaning that you get less and less money as you go along. And you do need money. I mean, yeah, missiles are great, but at a certain point, if you're not making money, you're not really helping as much. Making things a little bit more expensive for yourself. The inflation rate's not keeping up with anything else. The rents is too darn high. Maffuman's demonetized. We got Mr. No Name moving on out. We got Abra pushing on back. Abra has spent his money, went on back, and you know, is using his protective field to not take any damage, and using the repair bots to repair his health. That's where you see a lot of you know, Destros, Dreadnoughts getting shields, even though they don't get the armor bonus. They get the health, and that helps them not take cold damage to kill the repair bots. We got an EMP. EMP as a choice from EMRAkul to drain some energy. Now he's the only one on the either team who can drain energy at the moment. But we got everybody basically being a good target. So I mean, he can use it, but you know, no matter who he hits, there's always going to be somebody else who he can't hit by definition. We got Vortex, a juked Vortex right there. Mr. No Name saw the carrier turning and said, "Nope, we're gonna blink away," and we're gonna see if that happens. We got Tempest moving on up. Tempest at 21 upgrades. Mortalk taking so much damage, but does have protective field adding 50 extra armor. Now that's just so much. Even these backpack shotguns at 151, getting cut in third basically. Static up there. His you know, massive tentacles only then doing you know, less. Actually, not even necessarily hurting them. Mines being thrown up. Pepper going in position. He chose a different one. This tower is actually healed at this point. Now, will Pepper stay with hitting Dave and choose whoever is closest, or does he keep on the tower? Now, that's really just a personal decision. I happen to always think, ooh, Blackout, that you know, keeping some pressure on the tower is great, but you don't want to ignore when you could be doing damage as well and scaring them off. And we got a torpedo coming on in, and field goals from MaffumanCasting. Both Destros not very quick, but both able to escape in time. Pepper taking a whole bunch of damage, and he doesn't have a protective field, and he is going to take up more and more damage, and there is a field goal as well, but it does scare him away. We got Pepper, emergency shields, the only thing that keeps him alive right now, and he's using it to repair bots. He used his emergency shield because he was basically dead. Abra is going to take a whole bunch of damage as well, but does he have emergency shield? He does. He has emergency shield just to stay alive, and he's every hit Mr. No Name, but is that going to be enough? We got Mortalk being quite angry. Will he be able to take out Mr. No Name? And Mr. No Name is going to be able to escape. We got both Starboy and Jack providing missile fire, but you know, not necessarily enough. They were able to pick up a Destro right there, so it's a 5-5, back to a 5-5 situation. And Pepper was the one with you know, the siege mode, and you know, now there's just so many mines around here. Actually, do both have mines? Yes, they both have mines. They're kind of going like very similar builds, except this guy's remembering to put money into laser battery. And we got Tiber moving on up. Tiber does have a, his Tempest, so like, he still have a siege ability, but not gonna be right there. Now, the Raven could try to EMP an area and detect these mines, but it's so not energy efficient that it might not happen. I think they don't even know necessarily where they are. They might have a sense that they're in imminent danger if these mines were not on hold, or they might not. Vortex, because the carrier was being attacked. Because the carrier was being attacked, we got both the carrier and Void Ray in the vortex. Pepper, what are you doing? That's some weird positioning for you to be. We got Tiber gonna be torqued. Tiber was torqued, and he's being attacked, and Tiber's Tempests are gonna come in to find their master be dead. We got Pepper's positioning of that, man, now is helpful. Now it has the has Dave being hit in Blackout, hitting both the Destros right there. We got Static moving on up. Static now being put in a position where he's going to be doing quite a bunch of damage. We got Jack taking so much damage. He's going to now try to run away, and Mr. No Name trying to find targets and swinging a miss from Starboy. Mortalk moonwalking out of there. Does have a 73 damage on his Gatling cannon, so if he's ever in a position where he could be damaged, that's great. But right now he has to retreat. Destro's only fire going forwards. Yes, a moonwalk if he's going to try to do damage. We got the line of protection of the tower and a couple mines, and Starboy was taken out by Static. Mortalk moving up. Everybody angry at Mr. No Name because he can just blink on out of there. We got Mortalk as well, taking a bunch of damage. We got Pepper pushing back, but both destroyers are in the yellow and the red, and they have to get back. Pepper gonna move on back. Gonna be hit, but not quite enough. Mortalk also taking a bunch of damage, and his protected field is there, and he's saved. He's saved right there. Is able to get healed right now. Jack firing damage. Mr. No Name taking a bunch of damage, but it may just not necessarily be there. We got the Warp Prism taking damage and is taken out by the combination of everybody on the red side. We got blue Warp Prism number 2 taking a bunch of damage. We got Jack moving up, trying to defend, but has to be careful. He is circling around. He is shooting the sieges right there, and that's why the Warp Prism was taken out. We got Pepper and Mortalk back there. Let's see, it looks like the blue side is on the defensive right now. Now, if they set up a siege, they could do a bunch of damage. If they set up a double siege, that could do even more damage, or really extend how long they're going to be in this game. But it is increasingly hard because they just lost 2 more people in the last couple of seconds. We got Static pushing on up. He's going to use whatever his abilities he can press at the moment. He's what he's going to do. He's going to use. He doesn't have any much energy right now, so he can't stay in there forever. But he is going to do some damage. We got mines being set up all over the place by Jack. We got Mortalk doing damage. Ooh, Blackout on 1, 2, 3 of them, and that Blackout is really allowing the red side to move on up. They can't do damage. They're not really taking any damage from this tower, and Jack is taken out by Mr. No Name. The mines explode in desperation, but there's just more and more carnage. Terrible damage. We got Jack and Mortalk taken out, and that's going to be your good game. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This one was, again, submitted to MaffumanCasting by a user on the channel. So make sure you guys press like, press subscribe, and send your replays to MaffumanCasting@gmail.com. Press like, press subscribe, and do Starcraft Starbattle all the time.